Mr. Whitney, anything you need or want me to do for you this evening?
No.
Want me to make some calls for tomorrow's appointments?
Look, Gunther, well, go to a movie or go to bed, do whatever you want, all right?
Mr. Whitney, you haven't said anything about tomorrow's schedule. What time will you need the car?
I don't know if there are going to be any business meetings tomorrow, Gunther. Depends on what I find out in the morning.
I see.
Gunther, if you really feel you must do something for me, go down to the lobby and get me a newspaper.
Yes, sir, Mr. Whitney.
Raven, it is beautiful. Where on earth did you... This is...
Look at the initials on the inside.
SGW. Well, that's mine.
Yeah.
Well, you sweet thing. Wherever did you get this?
It's an antique piece that's been in your family for 3 generations, and Geraldine gave it to me to give to you. It belonged to your grandfather.
Why, you sweet, sweet darling thing. Thank you very much.
Time has run out, darling.
Good evening, Mrs. Whitney. I thought you might need some police protection.
What makes you think that I need police protection?
Well, I happen to know that you were the victim of a purse snatching this afternoon.
Oh, you do? How'd you find that out? I didn't call the police. Perhaps I should have.
Yes, it's best to report these things. Sometimes we can put pieces together that fit the pattern of a particular suspect.
So how'd you find out? Do you have ESP?
I wish I did. No, actually, a taxi cab driver saw the whole thing, and he gave us a description that fit a guy named Sammy Wheaton that we brought in on a different charge.
Oh, so you think he's the one that stole my pocketbook?
Yes, I do. I called Miss Darwin at the dress shop, and she said you were the victim. So I thought I would come in here and get the details from you this evening, if it's all right.
Sure.
Is, Mr. Whitney at home?
No. Mr. Whitney is in Chicago on business. I'm really sorry I made your work harder by not reporting it. But I didn't report it because this guy was standing there with me, and he saw the whole thing happen, and he ran off and got my purse for me.
Oh, genuine hero.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get many of those kind these days. He didn't happen to give you his name, did he?
Yes, he did. He told me his name was Romeo.
Romeo? Sounds like an alias to me. Are you sure nothing was missing from your purse?
Yeah. I had a lot of money, too. It was all there. I guess the guy didn't have time to take it, thanks to Romeo.
What about your house keys? You know, sometimes these guys will take a purse for the keys for a robbery.
No, the keys were returned, so I guess there's nothing to worry about. Although I was scared for a little while, but everything's okay.
It can be a frightening experience. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Well, I'm sorry you came here for nothing.
Well, maybe you can come down and identify the suspect at headquarters.
Sure. Tomorrow?
Thank you.
Thank you for all the trouble.
There's no trouble at all, I assure you. It's very nice to see you again, even under these circumstances.
Nice to see you. I think the last time I saw you was my wedding. My wedding. In fact, we even had a little dance, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. I remember it very well.
Yeah. I also remember that you were alone.
Yes, I was.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Well, you see, a lot of women tend to shy away from my particular occupation. And some women are unobtainable. That's new, isn't it? That portrait, that wasn't here the day of the wedding.
No. My husband had that commissioned for me as a surprise. Do you like it?
No, I don't.
You're bold, aren't you? Why not? It's a beautiful picture. It looks just like me.
Well, there's a likeness, but something's missing. I think it's your spirit.
Oh. Oh. Don't tell my husband that.
Look, I know I don't have any right to say anything. I don't have any right to ask you any questions at all, but I'm compelled to ask you anyway.
What? Don't look so somber. It can't be that serious.
Oh, I know you haven't been married very long. How long's it been? 3 weeks?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I wonder. How do you feel about him now? I mean, how much do you think you really know about Schuyler Whitney?
Why do you ask that? Do you know something about him that I don't?
Quite possibly I do.
Oh, what a lovely warm evening.
Oh, what a lovely warm girl.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
Well, you hear about love, and you read about it, and you see it in the movies. And then when it happens to you, it's so different. It's not what you expected at all.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't have the words.
Well, I think I do. I love you. I know it's not original, but it's right from the heart. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
About love?
No, we have to talk about that all the time. I meant Kelly, about your luncheon with him.
No, I don't mind talking about that at all.
Good, because I'm curious.
He was wonderful.
Well, I told you it would be.
Yeah, I really didn't have to tell him that much. He said he knew there was something going on between you and me before we did. Or at least before we admitted it. Anyway, I was glad I told him because it was my responsibility. And Kelly was very warm and giving, and he made it a lot easier for me.
Well, that's as it should be. Things should be easy for you. You've had to face too many tough things in your young life. It's time that you turn the corner and have some good things happen to you.
Well, what more do I need? I have you now, don't I?
Well, you bet you do, lady. You know what I feel right now?
What?
I want to turn the whole world upside down for your sake. I want to be the best. I want to be the most famous choreographer in the whole business. I want to be someone you can be proud of.
Well, that's nice. But I'm proud of you right now, just
Now, Clarence, I'm very sorry to be calling you at this time of night, but I'm here working on the budget. After all, you are the accountant, and I must say that some of these figures you sent me from last year are very confusing. One more hour of this, and I'll have to call an ambulance to get home. Yes, Clarence. Yes, the Queen is in her counting house. Oh, my, you are a caution. Now, if you can just straighten me out on some of these advertising figures, the whole thing will fall into place. Clarence, I did use the calculator. It's made 3 mistakes. Clarence, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't I just take all of these papers and put them in a shredder? Well, why not? They do it in Washington. Oh, all right. I'll have to call you later. Goodbye. Now, where am I going to get a shredder at this time of night? Yes?
Good evening, Geraldine.
Kelly, what on earth are you doing here? I thought you'd left long ago.
Well, to tell you the truth, I felt kind of guilty about taking most of the afternoon off. And you told me you were going to work late tonight. I figured I'd stop by and see if I could make myself useful.
My dear boy, unless you have a degree in accounting, you can be no help to me at all, but thank you for the thought.
I'm pretty good at figures.
What are 2 and 2?
4.
You're hired. My poor secretary was here until 8 o'clock this evening. When she started turning blue, I decided to let her go home.
Blue? Let me help out.
Kelly, I have been married to this calculator all evening long, and frankly, I want a divorce.
Oh, I know how to use that one.
Well, there, see what you can do with it. But be careful of that one. It makes mistakes. Here, you can start with these.
Fine.
But before you do, answer a question.
Sure.
Now, I couldn't help noticing that you're much more cheerful this evening than you were all during the day. Have you had some good news of some kind?
No, actually, today was a day full of bad news.
Then what do you attribute your good cheer to?
Well, there's no use in crying over spilled milk, is there?
Oh, you're quite right, too. And let it be the last time I hear you use that horrendous cliché.
I promise. Let me see the rest of these figures. That's a picture of Valerie Bryson.
Yes, Nicole is going to do a special feature on Dr. Bryson this evening. She thought she might use a photograph of Valerie on camera, but I think she's decided against it.
Well, I'm glad she decided against it. I mean, Val's still suffering from her father's death. She certainly doesn't need that kind of publicity.
I agree. Valerie doesn't need any kind of publicity right now. You're very protective of her, aren't you?
Yes, I guess I am.
Mm-hmm. Is there more here than meets the eye?
You're very wise, Mrs. Saxon.
I know. Except about budgets. Now, what you have there will wrap the whole thing up. Once you have finished that monumental labor, then I'm home free. That being the case, I think I'll feel free to go home right now.
Well, listen, don't you worry about this. I'll have it for you in no time, and I'll leave it on your desk.
Kelly, in the language of the streets, you really have your act together.
Thank you, Jill.
The Corbetts are about...
You to tell me that you know something about my husband and then not tell me what it is.
I just have a feeling that some of your husband's companions when he was living overseas were of questionable character at best.
Questionable character. Do you mean that they had something to do with that cover-up with Martine Duval's husband?
All right. It's unfair of me to make vague accusations about something that I can't prove. As yet.
As yet? Why do you seem so eager to pin something on my husband?
I'll tell you the truth. If I can prove that your husband was involved in something illicit, perhaps you'll become just a little bit less inaccessible. Well, I'd better go. I'm glad that you came to no harm this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by.
You still have my card?
Hi. Somewhere.
You sure you know where it is? And if you need me for anything, please call me.
I wonder if he thinks that Sky is really Jeff Brown.
Hello?
Raven,
Oh, hi, baby.
I decided to take a chance and see if you were still up.
Yeah, how are you?
Safe and sound in Chicago. And you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm so lonely. This house is so big and empty.
Yeah, well, you won't be for long.
Do you miss me?
Yeah. Yeah. More than I thought I would. I didn't realize how difficult the separation is.
Why? Why is everything spoiled when it started out so perfect?
What do you mean? There's nothing that's spoiled. It's just a temporary separation, just for a night or two. I'll make it up to you. I promise I will.
I want to be with you. I should have come. I should have insisted.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to find here tomorrow, and well, I'll feel freer doing my business, knowing that you're not here hanging around waiting for me.
I don't care. I should have come there. I want to be with you now. I want to be in your bed.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I want you to tell me that everything's okay. And that nothing has changed. And that you're still the man that I married.
Oh, Raven, I am. I'm still the same man you married. Believe that. I'm still the same man who loves you. I want you to know that whatever happens, I love you. I love you more than I thought it was possible to love anyone.
Sky.
Raven, look, I've got an important phone call to make. I'll talk to you later.
No,
Goodbye.
Oh, my God.
No, I can't do that. I can't warn her. And she'd know that I planned it all out.
Operator, room 611. Gunther, get the car. I said, get the car!
This is the USA Network.
Sky, I just want you to tell me that everything's all right. And that nothing has changed and that you're still the same man I married. No, Sky, listen, Oh, God, this is insane. What am I going to do? There is no way we can continue like this. How can I love a man like that? Who will live a lie for the rest of our lives together?
No, I can't do that. I can't warn her. Then she'd know that I planned it all out.
Operator, room 611. Gunther, get the car. I said, get the car!
Remember what happened to you the last time you did that?
Yes, I do. So does my chiropractor.
Well, that should teach you a lesson. You shouldn't go around trying to scare people.
May I remind you, young lady, that you are the one who scared me. What are you doing in my office this late at night?
Oh, the usual, hitting the law books, looking for a legal precedent. Thank you. Besides, I'd rather be here than in that tiny little one-room apartment of mine. What brings you here at this hour?
This is my office. You know, I work here. You pay me rent, remember? I have to make a very difficult decision tonight. I have to find a legal and professional way to say no to some guy whose case I don't want to handle.
You make a habit of refusing clients, don't you? Like the one that you gave to me to handle, the little winner, Jimmy Krause?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Didn't work out too well for you, did it?
No.
But as I've often told you...
Please, Cliff, no more words of wisdom.
Oh, no, you'll like these. As I've often told you, you can't win them all.
You're absolutely right. However, you can hope. Although hope is sometimes a frail ally.
You're remarkable, you know that?
Well, you certainly won't get an argument from me there, Counselor. By the way, if you do have any other clients that you'd like to turn over to me, and there's a fee attached, the answer is yes. You see, contrary to the old cliche, time is not of the essence, it is money. And the first of the month rapidly approaches with heavy tread.
Oh, well, you could take this case off my hands if you're interested.
Are you kidding? I'm ready and willing.
But are you able? No, seriously, this is very difficult. This guy shot the owner of a liquor store during a holdup. It gets worse. My client came to me and said he would like to plead self-defense because the owner fired first. You can imagine what kind of sympathy you're going to get from a jury with a ploy like that.
You know me, I like a challenge. I'll take it.
You mean it? Great! Hey, devour it!
Thank you.
This leaves me free to do more important things tonight.
By the way, Cliff, I really do appreciate all these opportunities that you've been giving me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I like having you around here. Besides, I gotta throw some work your way so you can make some money to pay rent, right?
Right.
Oh, there is a slight hitch with that case.
Listen, it doesn't matter. I made myself a promise when I was in law school.
Yeah, last week, huh?
I made a promise when I was in law school that I would never turn down any criminal cases. You see, I had a professor who seemed to think that the entire judicial system would just shrivel up and die if one single person was denied full and adequate representation, no matter how monstrous the crime. And you know what? I think he was right.
Wait a minute. If I knew that speech was coming, I would have turned up the march music. Full volume, and brought out the flags. Onward, Miss Bannister! Look, I had those same ideals when I came out of law school, but take a word from the master. Those ideals seem to fade after you spend some time in the sewers of the underworld. There are certain people who deserve to be in prison.
You are a dreadful old cynic.
Hey, I'm not old.
Tell me, how did you get to be so jaded anyway?
How did you get to be so naive? You'll see. You'll see.
Listen, if I ever do get to be that jaded and that cynical, I'll just quit the bar and start driving a cab or something, or else maybe I'll get married and have half a dozen kids.
And a great lawyer would be lost to motherhood, huh? What would the ERA say about that? Oh, don't you want to know the little hitch in that case?
Something tells me I'm going to hear it anyway.
The arresting officer is Calvin Stoner.
So?
Well, I know you've had a run-in with him, but Calvin still...
Cliff, you just told me what's right with the case, not what's wrong with it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Boy, now I wouldn't miss this case for anything in the world.
Not bad, Valerie, not bad.
Hello?
Hello, Valerie.
Yes.
It's Mrs. Carr.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Carr. You know, I was just thinking about calling you to thank you again for tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you, Valerie, anytime.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about our conversation about my father's letter.
So have I. And, you know, I really don't think that you should consider those numbers as simply a date, because the more I think of it, the more I think that they signify something else.
Mrs. Carr, I don't know what to think. It's all so mysterious.
Oh. Mike might very well be right. I mean, it's possible that they could signify a Swiss bank account.
But I don't even know how to begin to find out something like that. I can't very well go to every bank in Switzerland and make inquiries. And even if there was an account, wouldn't my father have to sign for the funds?
Well, I think that they would have to release the funds to you if you show them proof of his death. But in any case, we'll give it a great deal more thought.
Oh, Mrs. Carr, I appreciate your help and advice a lot.
Well, Valerie, I called for another reason.
Oh?
Yeah, I was talking to Nicole Cavanaugh, and she told me that she's doing a special report on your father at the 11 o'clock news tonight. And I just thought that I should warn you. I mean, just let you know in case you wanted to see it. Or not. Whatever's your preference.
Well, thanks for telling me in advance. I think I will watch it, though. Somebody's at the door. I have to go.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks again for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Coming! Hi, Cliff. What a surprise.
Hi, Valerie. There's going to be a broadcast about your father on the television tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I thought you might need a strong, masculine figure standing resolutely by your side. Somebody like me?
Cliff, I guess you've come at just the right time.
Well, I'm famous for my timing. I should say infamous. Just ask anybody.
Maybe I will. Please, sit down. Can I get you anything?
Yes, I'd like a pepperoni and mushroom pizza with cream soda.
That I don't have. But you can call out if you want.
Hello, I'd like a pepperoni and mushroom pizza with cream soda, and make it quick. What took you so long? Want some?
Cliff, you nut. No, put it down. No, I ate a while ago. I'll just finish my coffee.
Ah, too much caffeine. Have some soda.
There's just as much caffeine in soda, my friend.
There is?
Yes.
How'd you find out about the broadcast?
Mrs. Carr just called me. At least this way I can make a decision about it myself. Either sit through it or avoid it.
Well, what do you want to do?
I'll watch it. Hey, there's no use burying my head in the sand now.
I found out about the broadcast from a friend of mine at WMON. I know how upset you are about the bad publicity on your father. I thought it'd be very hard for you. So, thought I'd come by and help.
It has been pretty hard, actually. But I'm surrounded by friends who care a lot, and it's made it a lot easier.
Well, thank you. We orphans have to stick together, you know.
Cliff, are you an orphan?
In a way. My parents are alive, but, they're divorced. And, they live separately. I used to go see them. Then they remarried, and every time I'd see them, there'd be this stranger there that I had to call Mom or Dad. It felt very funny. So I saw them less and less, and now they live in different parts of the country. I still get Christmas cards and birthday cards, stuff like that. But I'm an orphan.
That makes two of us. You're gonna have to send me birthday and Christmas cards, though.
Yeah, don't worry. Look, we shouldn't talk about this. This is a bad subject. We don't have to watch that television show, you know. I mean, all this stuff is pretty fresh in your mind. The bright side is that as time goes by, you'll forget. Why don't we go out for a drink tonight?
No.
No, I'll even let you have coffee.
No, Cliff, you know how important it is to me to know about my own father. I'm glad you're here, though. So what time is it?
It's that time.
Good evening. This is Nicole Drake. There is new information tonight in the case of Dr. Kenneth Bryson, the famous plastic surgeon who allegedly, quite literally, changed the face of crime. Dr. Bryson died of a heart attack in Monticello General Hospital 10 days ago. And through the efforts of an investigating team headed by Monticello attorney Draper Scott, new information has been uncovered which reveals the name of at least one of Dr. Bryson's famous clientele. He is Alfonso Aguilera, South American dictator presumed to have been assassinated by rebel forces during his government's overthrow 14 months ago. Mr. Aguilera is thought to have been a patient in Dr. Bryson's Lucerne, Switzerland clinic and may be currently living in the United States with a new name, a new identity, and a new face.
Wow, Valerie.
This evidence is the
That
first
South American
breakthrough
dictator must have
which
paid your
reveals
father
the
a fortune to
celebrity
get
of
a new
Dr.
identity.
Bryson's clientele.
Wonder what happened to that money.
We'll be back with
Did you ever
more on
think of
this
that?
subject after these messages.
Well, actually, no. Not until recently.
Concerning the investigation, have refused to name names of other famous clients of Dr. Bryson's. But in the meantime, the search for Alfonso Aguilera is centered in the Florida area. Much of the investigation is shrouded in mystery. What is known, however, is that Dr. Bryson's clientele consisted almost exclusively of members of international crime syndicates and terrorist groups, all seeking anonymity. It is unknown and may never be determined how many identities were changed both here and abroad by the remarkable skill of Dr. Kenneth Bryson. Uncovering the name of Alfonso Aguilera undoubtedly is only the first of many internationally famous people to be revealed. It is also known to investigators that some clients notable in the underworld sought a change of identity in Dr. Bryson's plastic surgery clinics. There is some evidence that clients paid monumental sums to have their faces altered, to escape detection and the pursuit of legal or political enemies. The investigation, which was begun in Switzerland by the Swiss authorities, has spread throughout Western Europe and now the United States. The search goes on.
What would people say if they knew that Skylar Whitney, Monticello businessman, society figure, impresario, recently married to Raven Alexander, also had been a patient of Dr. Kenneth Bryson's? And that Skylar Whitney, my husband, is sitting in the middle of a fortune which doesn't belong to him.
No details about the investigation, I'm afraid. I really learned more from Nicole's television report than I did from his letter. Oh, except I did learn that Draper will be coming back to Monticello in about 2 weeks for only about a week. Except now that I've heard Nicole's report, I'm kind of hoping that, well, it all might mean even better news for me.
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that, maybe if he's in this country, he'll be picked to head the secondary investigation here.
I hope so, for your sake. I'm sure you miss him as much as I miss Sky. He went to Chicago for a few days on a business trip, so I'm all alone. Did you just hear that?
Hear what?
I just heard a noise on the telephone. Didn't you hear that?
Must be your imagination.
Maybe. Well, anyway, thanks for calling, and I would like to have lunch with you tomorrow, and then you can tell me some more about Draper. So we'll talk then, okay? I'll see you.
Replacement for your local news boy. And while I was collecting, I just thought I'd stop up to see what you're like. As far as I can see, fashionable, beautiful, and very desirable.
I hope so, for your sake.